Friday night has come around once again, and this time we swing back over across the pond to the United Kingdom for the second race on the season here at the beautiful Oulton Park. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round number 6 of the iRacing Formula V series for Friday Night Primetime. My name is Nolan Brempo. I have got Stefan Schlackia beside me in the commentary box with the wonderful Connery Maddock down behind the cameras for today's 12 minutes of racing action here from Oulton Park. Stefan, we come back to Oulton Park, and this time not for the Fosters that we were before, but for the island layout. Not just any island layout, though, the island historic layout, which sees that Hislop chicane removed, meaning tonight we're going to be seeing one of the longest straights in the entire season coming into effect.
And what a show it shall be tonight. We know that this series loves to produce great racing. However, that added hairpin at the end of the island loop will surely throw something very unique into today's race, because we are gonna see a very great passing opportunity right there, and then once again down all the way to Knickerbrook, a very long straight, and that's gonna be a great opportunity for a counterattack.
We take a look at the schedule. This, of course, closes out the first half of the season for the iRacing Formula V series for Season 3 of Friday Night Primetime. Next week, we swing back over to the States to the Charlotte Motor Speedway Legends Road Course, which is a track I've never seen in a race situation, so that will certainly be a very entertaining race, to say the very least. The results of the final time were in the UK, as from there we go to Summer Point, back to Sakuma, before back to Lime Rock Park, to Sonoma again, and finishing it all off at Oran Park in Australia on September the 3rd. So it is bound to be an incredibly exciting next 7 or so races up ahead of us. But for now, we are here at, of course, the Oulton Park Island Historic Layout for round number 6, and qualifying presently underway for tonight's 11-car field. Currently, Patrick Carney sits on the pole with a 1:36.185. Federico Castellari is going to be just down from him by about half a second with a 1:36.696. We'll look down to Ade Cobo-Lopez, a driver who has been so strong throughout the course of the day on his second lap already, showing here, Stefan, that his first lap clearly had a bit of a hiccup midway through.
Yeah, it is very easy to, especially here through Knickerbrook, pick up that 1x on the outside. Ade Cobo-Lopez, he was already very close to, once again, getting that 1x right there. So has to be a little bit careful, otherwise he is going to be starting dead last in a field where, just by the numbers, he should easily win today.
4 drivers so far set times, the other drivers being Bradley LaCour and Francisco Santos Pereira, both setting times to the 1:37. So it is a pretty split field so far, 4 times, and a second separate all 4 of those times. But the 2 at the bottom certainly looking close for now. It's going to be interesting, though. We take a look at Ade Cobo-Lopez across the line for his second lap. He will go fastest by 3/4 of a second. The first driver to punch into the 135s by some margin, a 1:35.450. Going to be coming in through there for the Iberian. So it's going to be an interesting run for Ade Cobo-Lopez today. He'll have to see if he can maintain that position up front. We saw the last time we came to Oulton Park just how insane this race got. And now we take a look back to Sergio Jimenez in his number 3 machine. Currently not on a flying lap. This is his out lap. So he will only have time here, Stefan, for 1 flying lap. Maybe even not that. He's only about 5 seconds away. He's not going to be able to get a fastest lap in here.
No, not at all. Still quite a ways to go in a Formula V here, and he is already past 4 seconds the time he needs to have to make that 1 lap count, so he is most definitely going to start from that last. And you know, the 7/10ths right now between Lopez and Carney look quite large, but the good thing is we have these very long straights, and while Knickerbrook is a little bit of a braking zone, it is only down to 1 gear, so in reality these guys will still be able to keep up with Lopez, if not even challenge him. And if he actually gets held up in battles, we might very much see a great race for the lead as well between Lopez and the guys behind him.
On board with JFD Ruder coming to the close of his second lap. He currently sits third with a 1:36.485, 1 second behind pole sitter Ade Cobo-Lopez. He's got plenty of time to work with, so through that final corner, Can Ruder maybe improve his time and put himself up towards the top end and put himself on the front row? Coming across the line, it is not going to happen. It is a 1:46.933. So very slow time there for that number 9 machine. He is not going to be anywhere close to getting that second time in there. And at the moment, that is, I believe, going to wrap out everybody else that has the time to come in for qualifying laps.
Yeah, unless they all of a sudden find a huge boost to their V-dub engines, they're not going to be able to finish any of their laps. So with that, I think, Nolan, it's going to be a clean start for Lopez.
Qualifying is complete. We will swing on over to the starting grid for tonight's 12 minutes of racing action from Oulton Park. Ade Cobo Lopez once again finds himself on pole position. Next to him on the front row is the good old Brit Patrick Carney, with JFD Rudder starting in third place. Federico Castellari in fourth, with Bradley LaCour in fifth. Francisco Santos Pereira is going to be in the sixth position. The last start of set times. Already the green flag has dropped. So starting grid up on your screen there for the end. But we are underway here at Oulton Park. It's a good launch so far from Cobo Lopez. Well clear the field down into turn one. Oh, right behind already. The runner collects Federico Castellari. Oh, and it's a huge crash at the back end of the field. Pablo Gomez knocked out of the race early as well.
Not the start everybody was looking for there. I think there was a little bit of contact on the apex of turn one. Most definitely. We'll have to see a replay of that as another car goes off track outside of turn two.
That was Hermie Barrera that went way off course at the tail end of the field. Take a look further up front. There is Jimenez with Bradley LaCour getting past him down into the hairpin. Now up through the hilltop, straight coming down towards where the Hislops chicane would be. Of course, Hislops not going to be a factor in tonight's race, so it's going to be a clean run here through Knickerbrook. Apart from the initial calamities at the start, doesn't appear as though we've had a lot of drivers encountering struggles.
Yeah, it was actually clean into the island hairpin. A little bit surprising there. I honestly expected more there. Oh, look at that. It was a slide actually from the outside car. Don't know who that was. And then Federico not able to stop in time, and all the cars coming in obviously kind of had to have happened, that incident there for Pablo.
Not what you would hope to see from a series that has been so exciting, especially right at the opening course of the race. Oh, Brandon LaCour off the course, nearly wipes out Sergio Jimenez as he comes back onto the track. Manages to get past. That will put Jimenez up to, I believe this is going to be up to third place now after all the struggles he has suffered at the course of the race. Taking another look at the race spot replay. This is an incident further at the tail of the field. This is Bradley LaCour's incident that happened in that final corner. So I have to take a look at this one. I think it just runs a bit too wide on exit here, Stefan.
Yeah, probably. And also in behind we had a yellow flag because Luis Alfonso Anton did spin his car in the penultimate corner just outside of the shot. He did not lose a single position, thankfully, or did lose a position to JF the Rudder. Yeah, honestly, for the first time I think in this series we actually had calamity in the first lap, or pretty much throughout the whole race.
You saw the battle coming down into the hairpin at the tail end of the circuit between Jimenez and LaCour. LaCour had to swing out wide to avoid running over Jimenez in the braking zone, but Jimenez got loose on corner exit as well, so that allows this gap to stay nice and close in the battle for P3 on the course. Throwing themselves up to the hill through the Druids corner. LaCour is wise, going to keep this one in line. He might try to have that dive down into Lodge.
Yeah, probably Bradley will try that. Look at that, goes to the inside now. Has significant overlap as well, and it's an easy outbraking there for Bradley LaCroix to get past Sergio Jimenez. But yeah, Jimenez not really going right now the way he probably planned. I mean, he started 8th, went up to 3rd, and now lost that position to Bradley LaCroix, but probably Sergio already quite happy with having survived that first lap incident.
DeRudder pulls it down to pit road, decides he does not want to continue this race despite already being about a third of the way through. So, Third place running up here, Bradley LaCour and Sergio Jimenez still in that duo battle. This is at the moment, by the way, the only battle we have on course as a result of all the attrition in that opening, well, really the opening corner, not even the opening lap. LaCour goes too deep to the hairpin. This allows Jimenez to go up the inside right on corner exit. Won't be quick enough, though, to get the hammer down, so he's going to have to tuck back in line and get that drafty run all the way up to Knickerbrook.
Yeah, with LaCour going wide, he actually helped himself a little bit with having more momentum out of the corner, and that still kept Jimenez behind. But he has to be maybe a little bit careful now, once again, into the penultimate corner, because Jimenez will probably, or most definitely, be right there to once again attack.
Jimenez does a good job of keeping with that draft on the exit there of Druids. Coming up to the Lodge corner, the final corner on the track. Not close enough to have that look. We saw so many looks up the inside into Lodge. In the first race, we were through the Foster's lair. You saw LaCour take a bit of an off-track excursion. The good news is in these light Formula Vs, you do have some space to be able to make those positions perfectly. So this is going to be interesting here to see how the rest of this race could play out. Tell you what, though, this is definitely going to be one of the more lackluster races we've seen on the season because of all the calamity at the start. But you don't really expect that, do you, Steven, from, a top split field? I mean, it's a rookie series, but you got yourself 14 splits, and unfortunately, this is what the best had to offer this week.
Well, you can't always have the best racing every single time. I mean, we have been quite spoiled with great racing in this series, and I mean, it kind of had to be at one point that we have a little bit of a downer in a race, and it happened to be this week with quite some heavy crashes right at the start of the race. We didn't see any heavy crashes throughout this season thus far, so yeah, these guys maybe haven't practiced as much, maybe went a little bit too overconfident with their cars into this race, having not practiced as much. So yeah, we'll have to see what follows. I mean, we still might have some battles, especially for 6th place, because Anton and Rudder are not too far away from each other.
And there you can see Antonin is also spun, as well as there was actually a big crash between Barrera and JF De Rudder as well in the final corner, right as this was going on as well. So there's the incident with Anton, and the incident for Barrera was a questionable one, so to speak. It was a salesman from Barrera, and then De Rudder just got collected because he just wasn't paying attention. I mean, there's no other way you can really put that there. We'll take a ride aboard with De Rudder here. You'll see Barrera's already out of shot. And at this point in time, Barrera has already spun out. He's in the wall. You can see him stop with the track there. I mean, but where are you going? Where do you think you're going to go in that situation? This is interesting. I mean, cue the circus music, I would suppose. I mean, this is an interesting race, to say the very least. That, once again, by the way, leaves only the battle for P3, which has yet to swap hands. Here is another look from the incident from the outside. And, I mean, he's not moving. It's not like he cuts across the nose. I mean he just, I don't know.
He is driving backwards. You were able to see from the outside shot he was driving backwards. So I guess JF thought that he is going to reverse more down the track and then just stop there in the middle, and, well, the rudder was basically booked for that inside. And what really didn't help then either was the stopped car actually accelerated right into the rudder. So yeah, really didn't help the situation there, even less than already did. Yeah, just, I don't know.
Battle for P3, still nice and tight, and thank goodness it's the only battle we got on course at the moment, so we got something to keep us entertained when we're not looking at replays constantly. But Sergio Jimenez and Bradley LaCour still looking to do battle. LaCour holds that third and final podium position with Sergio Jimenez down in 4th place. They've also got, by the way, Herbie Barrera just behind, who they just lapped on this previous lap because of, I think, we don't really need to discuss it much further, do we? So LaCour and Jimenez, the two cars looking to fight it out. LaCour wide out through Cascades and up to the lakeside hairpin. Jimenez is closing, looks for the inside, decides not to go for it though. Not a good thing to matter! Oh, just barely avoids running them over. And Barrera spins out as well. Why not?
Yeah, Barrera spins in Symphony there. But quite honestly, I think Barrera got a little bit scared to the inside there with Jimenez spinning on the outside. But I'm honestly going to be intrigued on how that happened for Sergio, because he seemed to have slowed down enough. And then just was way too fast. I mean, he also collected there very slightly. You were able to see that with Lacour. The very awkward incident there between those two.
I'm at a loss for words. That was the only battle we had. The closest two cars, I believe. So these, okay, we changed it up a bit. So what our producers told me now, the interval seen on the left, that's from each driver to each other. The closest gap is 3.1 seconds. I think that tells you all you need to know, Stefan, about how this race has gone. Already only 2 minutes remaining, which means roughly 2 laps to go, about 1.5 now for your race leaders. I don't know what to say to this. I mean, we've had so much good racing. Even the last time we were here, I would argue that the last time we went here at the Foster's layout, best race we've had yet on the season. They were going 2 wide, 3 wide. They somehow kept it out of each other, squeezed each other over to the left, and I don't know what happened, but something's changed. Clearly, it's a very different side here in the UK.
As we have a look at Benny, the safety car driver, probably needed right now to regather this field a little bit, but with only 1.5 minutes left, it's not going to have much use. But I think if Benny would drive out right now, he'd still win this race quite comfortably over Araikoba Lopez, who, by the way, is quite comfortably winning himself. 10 seconds right now to get back to the number 10 of Carney. I think he could probably switch on autopilot and lean back, relax, and still win.
If he hasn't already. I mean, Lopez is one of those drivers who is usually very consistent, and I mean, they say nonetheless, I mean, yeah, that's me right about now.
Is he sleeping or is he still awake?
Well, we know why his sunglasses are tinted so far black. That'd be the exact reason. I mean, I think that's just about all of us. He's probably listening in because obviously, track marshals, they all have radios. He's probably listening to everything on the marshals' radios right now. And, oh, by the way, Pablo Gomez has had a spin out onto the lakeside straight in the number 6 machine. Self-inflicted error, just ran too wide through the hairpin. Nobody else collected, so no further dramas there. But we are on that last lap of the race. Araikoba Lopez is a ways in front, to say the least, and I will say this, he's going to get an easy win today. Hasn't really had to work for it, though, has he?
Well, he was only ever going to be challenged into turn 1, and not even that did work out. The guys around him just were, quite frankly, so slow that he didn't even have to defend into the island hairpin. And I think that already tells you quite the story, because that is just basically one long full throttle part, except for a small lift for turn 2. So yeah, Araikoba Lopez very much out of this league. I was saying by the books he should be able to win this easily. Well, his R rating speaks for itself, 7,600. That's nearly 5,000 R rating more than anybody else in this race.
Araikoba Lopez comes across the line, and he will win round number 6 here from Oulton Park. Patrick Carney will pick up 2nd position after his opponent wrecked out, trying to run him down. Bradley Lacour is going to be in 3rd place, with Sergio Jimenez down in 4th. So I have a feeling here as well, Stefan, that JF DeRudder might have had a bit of an oopsie daisy as well in the midst of that race. He was actually still racing despite the overlay showing him as out, which leads me to believe he was disqualified because he was removed from the track on the last lap. Oh, and Barrera is spinning out on the last lap of the race. He so edged to save it. I mean, fair play to him. That was a great save there from Hermie Barrera to keep that out of the wall. I mean, we're talking that was full 90 degrees sideways to the track. Alfonso Anton is right in behind him as well. So this is an interesting race, and why not? Why not, I suppose. Anton gonna wreck out Barrera just after start-finish. I mean, I'm at a loss for words, to be completely frank with you. But that does conclude the race. Everybody has crossed the line, so we will go to some rather unimpressive post-race results here from the Oulton Park Island historic layout for round number 6 of Friday Night Prime Time. It is going to be, of course, Ade Cobo Lopez taking up a very, very easy victory, 12.7 seconds over Patrick Carner with Brandon LaCour to round out the podium. Sergio Jimenez is in 4th place with Francisco Santos Pereira in 5th. Luis Alfonso Anton is in 6th with Federico Castellari in 7th, finishing the cars on the lead lap, 1:17 down. JF de Rudder finishes 1 lap down in 8th place after unusual circumstances. See him removed from the track on the last lap of the race, despite him not having left the facility and appearing to remove himself from the track while he was still driving. Pablo Gomez is in 9th place with Hermie Barrera in 10th. Dylan Archer is in 11th. By the way, Archer did not even start the race, nor did he set a qualifying time or a practice time. So that concludes a rather unique race. Definitely the most calamitous one, shall we say, that we've seen yet on the season, Stefan. I'm at a loss. I really am. I mean, we've been seeing great racing all season long, and it's all of a sudden as though we've watched a bunch of people that have just hopped onto the service for the first time and have never driven a race car before. I don't understand how this went so wrong.
Quite honestly, I can't really help you there either. Like, I'm also quite at a loss of words here as to why we had such a I don't want to say it, but it was most definitely one of the worst racing I've seen in a Formula V. It's just baffling as to why we had such a really bad showing here today, especially because Oulton Park should normally deliver very great racing, because you can't just easily draft past people here with these extremely long straights. But maybe we're gonna get hitting the road again better at next week's track, which is the Charlotte Road Legends something. Yeah.
Charlotte Motor Speedway Legends Road Course Long. It's a long name. It's a long name, I don't blame you.
Well, one thing is for sure though, Nolan. Benny did most definitely enjoy his Saturday sit.
I don't blame him. I mean, Cobo Lopez certainly had a good run up there as well. Benny, the pace car driver, got a bit of an interesting side, as did Barney the flagman. Well, we'll have to hope that the showing next week is better than what we were presented with here today. For us, though, here at RaceSpotTV, with that expression on pretty much all of our faces right now, that is going to be it for yet another presentation of RaceSpotTV Friday Night Primetime for the iRacing Formula V Series. Thank you all for joining us here tonight. We will see you all in just 1 week's time.